Hello and welcome everybody to the show. Welcome everyone to Sandwich Talk. This is Sandwich Talk live at 5. I am your host, Carlos Parisi, live from my kitchen. This is a show where every week I get to hang out with a friend of mine. We get to make sandwiches in our own kitchen, get to talk about sandwiches, talk about life, talk about what's going on in the city of Detroit, which is where we film, and then everywhere else where we have or have not been. So today, I'm very, very fortunate to have somebody that has just been, I would say, the amount of confidence, passion, and just creativity that pours out of this person in her spirit, the way that she presents herself, the way that she's been motivating to others, and then also all of the work that she and her partner have done in the last few years, and also just her independently. I'm very proud to say that this girl is a friend of mine, and I get to just talk about stupid things with her. Everybody, my friend Jenna Belevender. Welcome to the show, Jenna. Welcome. Can you hear me?
Hi. Thank you for having me on. This is so strange. This is the first live video podcast I've ever done. So I feel very special that I get to be on here with you, and just all my confidence is fake. That's all made up.
Well, it works so well.
Anyone thinks I'm confident, I'm like, really?
Just so we know, streaming wise, can you see me all right? Am I choppy? Are we good?
You're good. You were slightly choppy for a second, but I think you're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you were choppy for a second, but that's just the wonders of live television, right?
Yeah, we're just rocking and rolling, just rolling with the punches, whatever it is. So I'm coming to you from my own kitchen that is lit by studio light. It's lit by video lights right in front of me.
Explain.
So I'll show you if you want. This is this beautifully naturally lit kitchen that we have here. Not real. It's so it's literally TV magic that you see going on here, and you can see up above the thing that we've hidden up there, my decorative plates. That's what I keep hidden up there.
Amazing.
So this is upstairs is our apartment, and downstairs is our photography studio. Michelle's downstairs plugging away, working on proposals. I'm up here making sandwiches. That's actually our normal day. It just doesn't usually include other people.
Yeah, my place is not that cool.
Your place is really cute.
I don't know. I like my place. I've been here for a long time. This place has been fun for me. It's been great for me.
I think I've been to your apartment building.
What's that?
I think I've been to your apartment building before, but I haven't been to your apartment.
You've never been to my apartment?
I went in there for a shoot once. I think I've been in that exact building for a shoot. There's some weird apartments. They're very big, super open and lofty. Yeah, real weird apartments. Your elevator's got a weird vibe.
Oh, wait. You're talking about a different building because they have an elevator. You're talking about, I'm at 14th Street.
Oh, maybe. There's another one. I think on Lafayette that has a really weird elevator.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we don't want to tell people where I live.
I don't know. I've been to a lot of apartment buildings in Detroit.
Don't
tell these people. People know where I live. You can find it very easily. I'm very easily Googleable. You can find me anywhere. I think I'm the only person in Hamtramck on the strip right here that has a neon sign in their front window, but also lives in their storefront.
It's a neon sign with your last name on it.
I know. And I'm the only Belevender. If you type in my name, one of my distant dead relatives comes up, and me. That's it.
Sick.
I'm easy to find. Someone can't have lost my number. That was always kind of the annoying thing when I was dating. Guys be like, "Oh, I don't have your phone number." I'm like, "You can find me, please. You know how to find me. I'm not a mystery."
You know where. You know
where I am. Come on.
So for the folks at home who don't know about you and about the amazing work that you do, can you tell us a little bit about what it is that you do here in the city and everywhere?
Michelle and I were two different photography companies for about 10 years each. Her maybe 15 years. Me about 10 years. I've been in the city since 2009. I worked in restaurants for a long time, kind of working up the at like network and building up money and trying to figure out what kind of photography I wanted to do, while Michelle was basically doing everything. She worked with Eater and Curbed and Town Country and any magazine publication you can think of, just building her reputation and her portfolio up. And then we met and merged businesses and lives in 2017 and became friends and fell in love. And we really wanted to buy a really big building this year, and that was like our goal. But COVID changed all that, so we are happily in this big storefront here. And we were doing mostly restaurant photography up until last year, with a bunch of restaurant clients like Decoy and Marrow and Standby and a bunch of different places. Great clients, great people that we love, but because of the pandemic, nobody has any. So we're actually doing more commercial work now, and we're doing a lot of direct-to-consumer things. People will drop off product or mail it to us, send it to us. We shoot it, either keep it or send it back. It's really fun. I didn't expect to have this much fun during pandemic, and we got to do a lot of personal stuff. So if you look at our page, it's a lot of weird stuff, and some of our friends are unemployed. So occasionally, if we have someone who's unemployed and wants to do a shoot, they get to model for us and hang out. And we've been able to have a lot of fun this year, so we're very blessed.
That's great. That's great that you guys, your job has allowed you to continue to move forward during this difficult time for everybody else.
Yeah, surprisingly, we've been able to we were aiming to do more commercial work anyways, but we thought, okay, I don't know how we're going to do it with all of our restaurant clients. I mean, they need us every month to come in and take photos. And since they were like, yeah, we can't have you in every month, we're like, well, we'll just focus on doing this other stuff. And it's been really great. It's been really fun. I can't tell you all the people we've worked with because some of them are still kind of in the works. We signed NDAs and stuff, but we're still submitting proposals, but it's really nice. We work with brands pretty organically, and we've talked to, pandemic was cool because we got to talk to a bunch of different photographers and creatives in other cities and other places. They connected with us via Instagram, saw our work because we were following them and commenting on stuff, and they were like, yeah, you guys are really cool. And they're in the UK. They're not here at all. So it was really nice, and we felt like we kind of made some pandemic friends. I've talked to some other people who made pandemic friends, and I thought that was really cool.
Good for you. That's so awesome. It's so great. You guys have allowed yourself to spread out too. I saw you guys did a shoot in Mackinac. That's sweet.
What's crazy is we did it last year, and we didn't know that it wasn't going to come out for a year until a month later. They were like, yeah, it's going to come out next August. And we're like, September? You mean next year? So we were only able, and we couldn't post about it until that's one of the other things that people don't realize. When we go to take photos, they don't belong to us until a certain time. We can't post them whenever we want. We have to wait until a certain time has passed. So after the magazine was out, we could share the photos, but for a whole year, we had to keep them to ourselves. The only person who saw them was my mom, who may or may not have seen this.
It's moms are exclusive to not getting an NDA. They're fine. I can tell my mom everything that I'm doing. She's okay.
Well, my mom still cuts out when she sees a restaurant. She cuts it out of the newspaper and then puts it in her purse and doesn't text it to me. When she sees me, she's like, "I have this article for you," and I'm like, I mean, I love you have an article for me, but you could have just texted me. Or she'll go and she knows which magazines I'm in, so she'll just go and buy 10 of them and just hand them out to people. She's great.
My mom will call me every once in a while and be like, Carlos, Carmen said that she saw you on TV.
What are you doing on TV? How did you get there?
Yeah, exactly. My mom doesn't really watch the channels that I would be on for a commercial or anything. So she only watches the ID network, which is really just murder mystery shows.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's not at all what you do.
No, I wouldn't be in a commercial there.
My mom looks stuff up. She called me once and she goes, "Have you ever been to the Co Gallery?" And I was like, "The Co Gallery?" And I go, "Do you mean KO Gallery?" "Yeah, I've been there." And she goes, "I'd like to go. There's an opening tonight." And I was like, great. I started talking to a guy who had a bunch of pins on, and she's like, "I also have pins on." She was wearing brooches. I'm like, this is the best. She really likes it. She wants to go out. And if I don't tell her about things that are going on, she's very offended. She's like, "I would have liked to go to that." We told her actually, so before COVID, we were like, this space is going to be great because it's a fully commercial space. So we want to, before pandemic, we were like, we're going to be able to have pop-up dinners here because we have chef friends who are unemployed, or, you know, even back then when they weren't unemployed, they wanted to be able to, you know, stretch their legs and do fun stuff. And at their work, they don't always get to do that. It's not that they don't have great bosses, they don't work at a great place, but they don't get to make the food they want all the time. Like, John from Roast is one of the most talented, cool guys, but I mean, he's a sous chef at Roast. He doesn't always get to do what he wants to do. Another one of my favorite people who doesn't get to do as much as she wants to do is Phoebe, and she works at Marrow, who, if you don't know her, is so cool. She's so cool, and she's so passionate, and she does get to do a little bit of what she wants to do there, but I feel like if she was just given free reign, like, you don't have to pay us, come and do your thing, do whatever you want, just great. We're not charging you like a fee to be here. Just like, let us know the day. We're working out with some of our friends what they can do here during the pandemic. We're talking to, I don't think she would care if I say it, Lena. We talked to her about doing a bakery pop-up in front. I'm assuming she doesn't care if I say it, but if she does, I'm very sorry. But we told her she's welcome to come and do it in front, and, you know, at some point she's welcome to do it whenever she wants. And same with Phoebe, I'm like, come do a pop-up. Do whatever you want to do. Our space is your space as long as everyone's safe. And you don't want to have more than a couple people in here at a time.
Allow me to help spread the word to the good people that there will be events there, because if Lena is doing baked goods, I want to be there. If John's doing something, I want to be there.
Honestly, it's selfish. It's selfish for me to have her do it here, because I'm really only doing it because I want the food to be here. I don't want to leave my house for this pop-up. I want it to be in my home. Can all the pop-ups be in my house? So not only am I like, here, take my space. I'm just like, I'll just eat this, like, you don't even have to make me anything. I'll eat the scraps. I've worked in kitchens for years. One of my chef friends is like, the first time I met you, you're eating an ice cream sandwich over a garbage can, like, with your hands. And I was like, that's classic me. Like, of course I was. I don't feel comfortable with like a plate sitting down and like hurriedly eating it. Like, I have to go back to service.
Was it like a real ice cream sandwich, or was it one of those that you get from the grocery store that's like not real ice cream, not real cookie, but still the most delicious thing you've ever had?
No, it was definitely real. It was Brad from Chacoy. They were doing a pop-up at MoCAD, and he made on King's Hawaiian buns. It was, I think, vanilla ice cream, but then he poured sweetened condensed milk on the inside, and they were just like, they were so good. But he like gave me a plate, and like I was just like, ate it over the garbage can.
Yeah.
Also, in the kitchen and just eating pasta over a garbage can. Like, just, I don't need a plate. It's fine. I'll just toss it in there when I'm done.
You see this area right here?
Yeah.
Some people would call this a sink. I call it a plate.
Yeah. It is whatever you want it to be. Just eat it over the sink. Quickly. My house is filled with plates. So
real quick, want to know, have you guys been cooking any sandwiches at home in your kitchen?
We have, as you can see up here, this is a small selection of cookbooks that I'm horrible at using. We get them honestly for the photos, because we get them for photo inspiration. And I try to use them, I do, but I've learned about myself that I can't be an overly ambitious cook. Michelle's actually a much better cook than I am, which is surprising. I feel like I just stubbornly refuse to follow recipes and learn. I get very impatient and skip ahead. We've made stuff at home, but we're better at making like soups and stews. And we got some, like, when we get meat from Marrow, we're like, great, we'll use this as a broth. We'll make like brothy beans. We'll do this. We'll have a little bit of vinegar. This will be great. We make like very kitchen sink hodgepodge stuff. We just, with all of the beautiful heirloom tomatoes, we started making like BLTs and like just like everything tomatoes. We got a great tomato tart recipe. That was amazing. There's a really incredible cookbook that we get like 1 or 2 recipes out, and we're like, we'll just stick to these. We don't need to make anything else. It was like a turmeric rice recipe. But sandwiches, I keep them very classic and simple. Michelle loves making grinders. She'll like come upstairs and she'll have cut a bunch of King's Hawaiian buns and just make like tiny like slider grinders for us. Those are always really good. But when I need a sandwich, I'm honestly like, I'm calling Rocco's more than I should. I'm checking Rocco's every day, because you know what they have? They have really good tiramisu. I shouldn't be telling everyone this. Apparently everyone already knows.
Well, I already knew, because I get the tiramisu from Rocco's. It's so good.
I can't have them anywhere else. I only want their tiramisu. I called him and I was like, can I place a large order? Like, can I just get an order for like 5 orders? He's like, of the large ones? I'm like, yeah, if you can actually make it bigger for me, that would be great.
Rocco's is excellent.
But no,
Rocco's
we
is
come
one of
home and we try to be ambitious about it, but I have like dummy.
So then let me ask you then, what do you think that you want to make for us today?
You're slightly cut out. You cut out with something. I heard Rocco's and then nothing else.
Okay, hang on. Am I better? Is this good?
What I'm gonna make for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're better. Okay, so what I'm gonna make today, can I tell you? I'm gonna make a grilled cheese because I am gonna keep it simple, but I'm gonna use these fucking great caramelized onions. I'm gonna use prosciutto. I'm gonna use balsamic. I'm gonna make it real buttery up in here. It's gonna be so good because that's one of my comfort things. I usually do it with tomato soup, but it would have involved me using a blender, and it's gonna be really loud. So we're gonna skip making tomato soup this time.
Awesome.
What are you gonna make for me? Well, what are you gonna make that I can watch? I wish you could make it and then also just deliver it to me because I feel like I'm gonna be jealous of your sandwich.
Today I don't think I'm gonna get too loopy with it. I was looking just like through Instagram today, and I saw somebody went to Potbellies, and I was like, I haven't been to Potbellies in so long, so I'm gonna try to make a Potbellies style sandwich, kind of like a grinder thing. I'm just gonna put it in the oven with meats and cheese and melt it, and then I don't have any lettuce, so I'm gonna do spinach, avocado, some pickled peppers.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that is true about Potbellies is that you do the oil with the oregano on it.
Yeah.
So that's what makes a Potbelly sandwich. I'm gonna do that.
What really makes it is when you get that milkshake next to it that has like a bunch of cake or something in it. I don't know what they put in their milkshakes. Do you have one of those?
Yeah, I can make a milkshake. No, I can't make a milkshake. I don't have any milk. Shit.
I can make a milkshake, but it would be made with Jenny's Darkest ice cream. Actually, I think I might have a McFlurry in the freezer. The truth is, Michelle and I at our core we love fancy things. We do, as evidenced by my fancy booze that's actually all over there. But we are also true trash people. We love, like, we'll just be looking at each other like, we just want McDonald's cheeseburgers. We want them delivered because we're not leaving the house. And so we're like, we just have a McFlurry in our freezer. We don't eat it. We order it. We don't eat it. And we're just like, put it in the freezer. It's fine. We'll just eat it in 2 days when we don't want to leave the house again.
Props. Good job. I mean, not too many people like to admit that they like McDonald's. Yeah, do what you do. I'm proud of that. You kill it.
It's bad, and I don't care. We don't live in someone who for so long made me feel like, oh, it's like shameful, and I'm like, we don't live in a shame house. There's no judgment zone. If you want to eat sardines out of the can, eat sardines out of the can. If you want to just eat peanut butter out of the jar, eat peanut butter out of the jar. No one's here to judge you. We have done those things. Anything that you would be shamed for in any other house, you're accepted here. This is a safe space.
A safe space for food. I love it.
Yeah, safe space for food, safe space for drinking. It's your safe space. You can be here.
Speaking of which, you inspired for me to get a drink in today. So this is my drink. This is so this is tequila, and our beverage sponsor, Casamara Club.
Love it.
Real quick, before we start getting into the sandwich, let's do a quick commercial on these guys. I'll see you in just a second, okay? All right, I'm just adding more Casamara to my more tequila that I just added. This is Casamara Club, and Sandwich Talk is sponsored by Casamara Club. Inspired by the history and traditions of Italian Amaro, these soft drinks are balanced, buoyant, and food-friendly, highlighting the natural vibrancy of farmed ingredients. And with currently 4 varieties available, you can find them all over the country today by checking out their website at casamaraclub.com. Cheers.
You make me want to get one.
I think you got one, don't you?
I do. I can go get one right now.
Go get one.
Do you want to come with me?
Are you going to the fridge? Show me the fridge while we're doing it.
Go to the fridge and get one.
Let's go. Let's go.
I can show you.
Let's go.
You know, the thing is, I've never done this, so I don't know how to turn it around. So we'll just, it's kind of a mess.
It's okay. Ooh.
Uh-oh. I don't know if you can actually see it.
I can see it all. That's
see.
Beautiful.
Oh, we got some good stuff in here. We got all this stuff. Wine is normal. I have some wine.
A lot of butter.
Ah! I have butter. I have a lot of. I have at least 3 things of whipped cream. If only I knew how to turn this around.
It's okay. We saw it.
No, not that. Either way, I got what's important. It actually goes perfectly with what I'm drinking, because I'm drinking a 50-50 Amaro drink with Coke Americano and Averna. Many of the people that would watch us talking about sandwiches would know who made it. Bear made it for me. And he's so sweet. He actually lives across the street.
Oh, really?
I saw him one day. I just heard him. Someone was yelling, but I don't know if you know this. As a woman, when someone's yelling at you from across the street, you just don't look. You're just not going to look. It's not because you're not friendly or you don't want to look. It's just, you just don't look. It's just better off. You don't need to look. It's not important.
I mean, I kind of have a rule of like every major city. Like in every major city, you just mind your own business. So if somebody yells at you, no matter who it is, you just don't pay attention.
Yeah, and as a lady, it's like it's a hard and fast rule, but like, don't just go, who's looking at me? Like, nobody. It's not important. You don't know them. Turns out I did know him. He called me. He's like, why would you ignore me? I'm like, I didn't know it was you. He was right across the street. He was waving me from a parking lot. I'm like, why? It's nice to see you. But I'm making the drink. I made him write down the recipe for me because I kept going places and going, oh, he made me a drink. It had like some alcohol in it. I'm not sure what.
It was dark. I don't know.
It was dark, kind of sweet, a little vegetal. It's really good. It actually goes all. This is still the commercial. All Amaro goes really well with this because it has this like really like not bitter, but like weirdly vegetal, but like it's so good. I love an Alta. Cheers, Dan.
Cheers.
I love an Alta.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers to Jason. Ugh.
Good guy. Really a good guy.
The best hair.
All right, so let's start making a sandwich. I'm going to start with a bolillo roll right here. The old school standard Mexican bolillo.
I'm doing this stuff from Western. I think it's Italian bread. I found some simple stuff at Western, and I was like, this will work. Western's solid. They got me.
Yeah. Western is one of the most solid grocers in the Metro Detroit area.
I will give them a shout out for free any day of the week.
100%. I mean, we've done an episode with, are you familiar with Ferndale Stockpot?
I don't think so.
So it's Courtney and Ian Burke.
Wait, no, I heard you correctly. I know what Stockpot is. I'm getting some of their stuff this weekend. I love it.
Amazing. Courtney and Ian Burke. I had them on a show, and they were saying basically everything that they had on the show was from Western Market. So that episode was basically just sponsored by Western Market.
That's so nice.
And then in watching that show, the folks from Western Market asked if they could be part of the show. So those dudes are going to be a guest on the show in late October, I think.
That's really nice. They're a really good group there. I know Putnam the best. Putnam and Jared, because they work in the beverage department, and I drink a lot of wine.
Don't mind me.
I'm just like.
I'm just eating deli meat now.
I was gonna say I'm about to get my prosciutto package out, and I'm very.
So.
Around back here. Don't mind me.
I'm tossing on because I have it. Some buffalo style chicken breast. I got regular old ham. This is gonna be kind of like the rack, only minus the salami, basically. Because I usually get my fancy prosciutto from
Rocco's because they sell their prosciutto is like a half pound and it's like $11. It's so good. And it's such good prosciutto, but this in a pinch is really good. It's just from Western. It's like their standard package. It's $5. I'm like, all right, I can get on board with this. I think during quarantine, everyone else was like, people were like really worried about toilet paper and like basics and like, cleaner. And we're like, we need prosciutto, we need garlic, like we need lemons. If I don't have herbs, like I need the basic things to make my food taste good.
The necessities in life.
Yeah. Like I was like having a hard time getting garlic, and I'm like, I'm not standing for this. I had to get like 8 cloves. I'm like, I'm hoarding garlic. I don't feel good about it, but I need it.
As soon as it happened, I went to an Arabic restaurant, and I ordered a quart of garlic sauce, and I ate the whole quart in one sitting.
Of course you did. I mean, that's what happens. It's a pandemic.
Because it's a pandemic. Exactly. I'm not trying to get sick.
You're like, I need to have this garlic in me. It's healing powers. That's actually, my mom would always be like, just eat a bunch of garlic.
Yep.
It's fine. Just eat a bunch of garlic. You'll be totally fine. I'm like, my dad's a nurse, and he's like, that's not how this works.
It is how it works. Your dad's wrong.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm prepping my meat and cheese first. Tossing it on this oven-safe dish. And I'm just going to toss this in the oven.
I'm getting my meat on here, and I'm doing the sensible thing by putting mayonnaise outside of my bread. That's how you get it. That's how you get it good.
You know what I realized? I use butter in every single episode of the show, and I didn't use any butter this time around. So I didn't necessarily spread the butter on, but let me just, I'm just going to put some butter on here. I don't know if you're literally just putting butter on.
Yeah, you need it.
Why not? Why not?
That's like, it's a necessity for every meal. I have a lot of butter. I have my butter bell, my little butter dish that just sits on my countertop. It goes right next to my salt dish. It sits next to every meal that I make.
Butter and salt. What else do you need? Oh, and garlic. Duh.
Garlic. I'm actually going to use raw garlic at the end, and I'm going to brush it onto the toast to make it nice and spicy.
Nice.
That's my.
Can you show us a little bit? You wanna angle that boy down a little bit to show us kind of what you're doing?
Yes. Let me get prosciutto out of my hands. Let's see if I can angle it without it falling over. Nope. I'm gonna do this one-handed. It's because my setup is very much like. So I had to set it up with like Frida Kahlo's book right there.
Nice.
So she looks at me whenever.
I love her.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait. I'm back. I hit the home button on accident.
Yeah.
So, just one-handed.
Nice. Let me grab some spinach. So I don't have lettuce, but I have spinach. So I'm going to toss some spinach on there.
Over here, we got my sandwich was just starting to brown. We got all of my fixings. We got all my stuff. We have my salt, we got my butter, we got my oil, we got my pepper, we got my red pepper flakes. I got all my things. I gotta make sure it's plugged in or else your girlfriend's gonna die. This whole thing will go kaput if I don't keep it plugged in.
Boom. Right. I'm gonna chop up some spinach. Real rough chop on this.
I'm so used to having when I had the other apartment, we would have like people over, and like it was actually nice to be able to have people over, and I do miss it. So this is a nice version of having someone over because I don't have to wear my mask.
Right? Thanks for having me over.
This is so nice.
All right.
Add all my caramelized onions up in here, and then I'm gonna cover it to get it all steamy.
I am a big fan of, so I don't have the hot jardinera, like the hot peppers that they usually have at Potbelly's, but I do always have pickled jalapenos and pickled carrots. So that's what I'm tossing.
I have both. We have all the peppers.
The only reason why I don't have the hot jardinera is because I ran out. It's a bummer.
We actually ran out quite a bit, and I think we've gotten them we get them usually from either Rocco's, depending if we're going there, or Western. This is just a commercial for Rocco's and Western too. Those are my other places that I go. So you can send the checks to the place with the neon sign. Send the promotional checks there.
See here. Try out this here mayo mixture. Great. Great. Yeah, nice little Kewpie mayo that I'm going to toss on that boy.
Yes.
We're starting to get melty on the sandwich a little bit. What else should I toss on here? A little bit of lime.
Got a lot of stuff going on here. I'm going to turn this up to hopefully get it a little more melted. I probably should have just put it in the broiler straight away, but I'm going to do it on the stove. I'm using my very fancy pan. Why am I just eating this? This is delicious.
Boom. Avocado, it's not that great, but it's a good one.
No, that's not bad.
No.
I'm sorry I can't share any of this prosciutto. I'm going to go through this entire package.
I want some. I want some prosciutto.
Oh, good. I had a friend who was a vegetarian for like 15 years, but the whole 15 years he was still eating prosciutto. That's not vegetarian. And he's like, it's my one thing. It doesn't count. I'm like, it absolutely counts.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, it's definitely not. And he always ate prosciutto.
So I had a half of an avocado for my sandwich. The other half, I don't want it to go to waste, so I'm just going to take some lime. I'm going to take some salt. And I'm going to take a spoon. And bon appetit.
I thought you were going to put it in the refrigerator like that. And I was like, I don't feel like that's going to keep it like that. I thought you were going to tell me like a new trick of how to keep limes fresh. I'm like, wait.
Nope, it's a new trend of how I eat my avocados on camera.
New trend. One of these bullshit cookbooks I have up here that I bought and then realized it had this recipe in it. It was half an avocado with everything seasoning on it. And I was like, you're making me want to burn this book. That's not a recipe. That's a suggestion. And like a really simple one at that. That's not a recipe. I was very offended when I bought it. I was like, come on. I just paid like $30 for this. This is horrible.
I don't know. One day maybe I'll come out with a cookbook of all the different sandwiches that we've done on here. And it's going to be the worst cookbook you'll ever see.
It's going to be a mess. I'll take the photos.
Oh, thanks. It's going to be a bunch of me going, what the fuck did I do on that one show? Shit.
It's recorded.
Got to rewatch them all. Be like, oh, did I add butter to that one? I don't remember. Probably yes.
My recipe is slightly tweaked from Anthony from Queer Eye because he puts prosciutto on his grilled cheeses. And at first I was like, do I really need prosciutto on my grilled cheese? And the answer is, yeah, you do. They're really good.
Always. I mean, not always, but if you have it, use the prosciutto. Why wouldn't you use
it? That's actually why we get the prosciutto from Rocco's, because we get a half pound, which like is way more. This is 3 ounces. This is a very small amount for $5, but the Rocco's one is a lot of. Ooh, I'm hoping mine's getting melty. I have to turn this up.
Crispy. Oven is turning off now because it's too hot in here, but dang, I got a nice crunchy bun here. I'm going to do, I don't have any tomatoes either, but I am going to do this boy right here. A little spinach. My peppers.
You're making me want to throw this in the broiler because for some reason it's taking too long. Oh, it's getting there. I just keep checking on it.
You got it.
I'm not being a good chef. Like I said, I try not to be too ambitious because this is the thing that I do. I'm like, why isn't it working? It's working because I keep opening the cover.
That's the problem.
I know it's not working.
That's probably the reason why I suck at baking, is because I always open the oven.
I'm the world's worst baker. I tried to make a cherry pie like 2 weeks ago. I hand pitted like 30 cherries and I screwed it up. I have no idea how I screwed it up. I had like 2 cups of sugar. I have no idea why it was so bad. It tasted like beets. It tasted like dirt. Like too earthy. I don't know what I did.
I don't know if you just saw, but I added entirely too much olive oil. So who cares?
It wasn't too much. It definitely wasn't too much.
Some oregano. The olive oil and the oregano is what I'm doing right now. And just like that, I made a fucking Potbelly sandwich today. Hell yeah. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing. Oh, the avocado. Duh. I want avocado.
The avocado. I was like, you're just squeezing that avocado onto there. I like that. That was a good move.
Well, I sliced it already, so in this way I can just literally squeeze the slices.
I've never seen anyone squeeze slices on there.
Just like that.
That's ingenious.
Thank you.
Was it you that I saw pouring sake onto those cold noodles at Ema?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I did that when I went there, and I thought of you.
Is it amazing?
This is a good move. Those cold noodles are clutch. I'm really.
I got that from. So they do that in Japan, but then Shinya. I don't know if you're familiar with Shinya. No. He goes by Crate Digga on Instagram. He's a DJ here in the city. He's from Japan. He reminded me that that's like a thing. So I was like, why don't I just do that with noodles that they just came out with at Ema? So that's what I did. Let's do a little bit more lime. Because like, this is going to be like a Mexican version of a Potbelly's, right?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God.
I'm actually going to take this off the heat because now it's too hot. Electrical stoves are... Do you have an electrical stove over there or do you have a gas stove?
Ooh, no, I am an electric boy, unfortunately. I prefer gas.
I prefer gas too, and it's really tough. We have this like real sleek looking situation, and it's not as much as I want it to be. I want it to be a little bit better. It's very hard to control heat on something like this. I just slightly burned half of my sandwich, but you know what? I don't mind a little burn on it. I'm fine with that. Let me tell you something. If Michelle was making a sandwich, it wouldn't be burned.
Yeah.
Where's she when I need her? She's downstairs working. That's where she is. She's doing the best thing. Look at that sandwich. I knew this was gonna happen. I was gonna come on the show and I was gonna look at your sandwich and go, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, but yours is gonna be you want prosciutto and cheese. You can't go wrong.
Who can go wrong with that? Let's see. I'll get one of my fancy plates out. This is my own personal cooking show. I'm doing it. I'm almost there.
I'm in. We're in it to win it now. Oh, it's coming down. Here we go.
I had a friend over the other day, and she was telling me how she and her stepdad like to watch old Julia Child episodes together, because she's just like, Julia Child was like really dirty, like just foul mouth.
Yeah.
Really would say things reminding her of penises all the time, like just really funny, because she was like, no one's fucking watching this. She was a rebel. I love Julia Child.
Yeah, definitely kind of like an inspiration. Oh, shit.
That's something. All right, I'm going to cut it, but I'll let you watch. Hold on. See if I can angle this.
Like, that's the cool thing about this show is, like, I don't care what my friends can say about anything on the air. Because, I mean, you guys are my friends for a reason. We can swear, we can talk shit, whatever. And if we talk shit about people, typically we're talking shit with love.
Oh, absolutely. All right. You're down here mostly seeing the sandwich.
I'm loving the sandwich cam.
Sam cam.
Sam cam.
Ah.
Woo!
Air.
Hell yeah. All right, so before you dive in, let's do a quick snack break. We got the Andy snack break coming up. One of my favorite parts of the show because we get to eat before we eat. So here we go. I got here some of the old. Have you tried this pimento cheese yet?
Oh, I have not.
The Andy's pimento cheese has been out for just about a month now, and it's been great. I use the pimento cheese on so much. I eat the pimento cheese regularly just by itself. I almost ate it all with a whole pizza the other day.
I really love that. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if I've ever actually had pimento cheese.
Yesterday I had to run out the door, and we had bagels left over from the weekend. So I toasted up some bagels, and instead of using cream cheese, I used the pimento cheese.
Ooh.
Dude.
Where'd you get bagels from?
There's not too many fresh bagel places around me, so I had to get it from the store, like the sack of bagels.
Yeah. Repping that bag,
You hear about DIB?
Oh, you're out there, DIB, we're so sorry. I bought so many bagels. I did what I could. I love you.
Such a big bummer. Huge blow to the city, but definitely understandable. As a business owner, I completely understand. You know, sometimes we hit hard times.
And I'm begging for somebody to pick up that torch because I need bagels. Somebody pick up the torch. We need bagels. That's a necessity.
Totally.
Bagel.
Anyway, quick shout out to Anthony's. If you haven't tried Anthony's yet, know about it. Anthony's, best chips and salsa in town. New pimento cheese you can only pick up at Eastern Market. Chips you can find at Whole Foods, Kroger. You can find the chips all over the state of Michigan and Ohio. So if you're joining us from Ohio, go to the Toledo Whole Foods. I just dropped off 6 cases today. You
did?
Yeah.
Wow. I actually didn't know you were at Whole Foods, but I don't shop at Whole Foods. I only go to Western. I drive all the way to Ferndale from Hamtramck to go to Western.
Go to Western Market in Ferndale. Western Market in Ferndale carries the whole line of chips and salsa. Mm-hmm. But if you want the cheese, you got to come to me on a Saturday at Eastern Market. I'll hook you up. That's what it is.
Go see you. Go see Marie. Get my crepe. Get my cheese. Get all my stuff. She needs to make a crepe with that cheese. I'm gonna let her know.
Actually, I'm gonna gift her one next week just so she can make you one.
Absolutely. Marie, you need to have Marie on this podcast. She will make you like was a crepe a sandwich? I don't know.
I think if you were to ever mention that to the French would be like, no.
But the good thing about Marie is Marie doesn't even like the French. She doesn't like the French. She knows that they're jerks. Just like them. So if you tell her that a crepe is a sandwich, she's like, sort of a sandwich. She'd be on board with that. Plus, she loves you. She'll come on your podcast.
Yeah. Either way, I want to have her on the show. And if she wants to make a crepe, she can make her crepe.
She'll make a crepe sandwich.
All right.
So the thing about Marie is she hates French music, but she loves rap. She hates French music.
Well, there's really good French rap.
That's what I say.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready? Let's do this. Show me that sandwich. Show me that sandwich. Ooh. So I saw you toss on some
drizzled some balsamic on here. Whoop. This way.
You put the balsamic on top?
I put the balsamic right on top so it soaks into the bread. Because when I put it in there, I feel like it always soaks into the bread on the inside. Those onions. They give me every time.
Give me a play-by-play, layer by layer. Where are we at? What was it again?
I got crunch. I did the outside of the bread is obviously mayo. That's how you get it real crunchy. Michelle actually showed me that. Hats off to Michelle for showing me all my favorite cooking techniques. Then I got Swiss cheese. Then I have kind of like a hard, sharp white cheddar. Then I have prosciutto, all my onions, and then cheddar Swiss again. So it's all sandwiched in the middle. And I tossed in balsamic because I need it to be a little sweet. I'm a sweet and savory girl.
I love that.
I'm ready for yours though. That looks amazing.
I mean, let's talk about it. So we've got here bolillo roll, and then I did. Hang on one second. That was dangling. It was mine. So then I did like a spicy chicken, like a buffalo chicken.
Yeah.
And then put that into the oven. Oh, I also had the butter that I had to add in at the last minute. So butter on the bolillo, the meats, the cheese, spinach, avocado, lime, jalapenos, oil, and the oregano to make it a potbelly style sandwich. One thing that I didn't add was my Kewpie mayo mixture, so I'm gonna see if it needs it, but we're just gonna try it out as is.
I love Kewpie mayo. We keep it in there, and we have regular mayo. We have it all. We're heavy condiments in our house.
There we go. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Going for it.
I'm ready. Solid?
Mm-hmm.
Should we call Potbellies and tell them we have competition? I'm like, I don't need you anymore. I got my own shit.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you over my crunching. What'd you say?
I said, should we call Potbellies and tell them they ain't shit? We don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
My God, it's so good. However, I'm gonna try with the mayo now. Let's see what it's
I'm
like.
curious to see what's gonna happen. You needed it? You needed that mayo.
The reason why, this is the same Kewpie mayo mixture that I've been using on probably the last 4 sandwiches on the show. So it's Kewpie with Maggie, salsa Maggie. It's like a Maggie seasoning sauce, and then Valentina hot sauce.
Ooh. Oh, Michelle's gonna be into that. We're actually running out of Valentina. I think it was you that told me to put Valentina on, I think, an egg. It was something else you told me to add it with, and I was like, this is really good. I'm gonna remember later. But you've given me a couple of cooking tips that have not gone to waste.
Was it tuna?
No, because I don't really eat tuna at home.
Because that's like one of the
things that stick to me.
That's one of my low-key secrets, is doing like a tuna sandwich with Valentina. Because I love it. It's really good. How's your sandwich?
It's delicious. I did a great job. I'm really sad you're not here to taste it, because I would make it for you. I do really love cooking for people. If I can nail a shashuka recipe so hard. I've tried shashuka all over the city. Not as good anywhere else. I make it way better. Make it better than anybody else in the city. That is a full challenge to other people. They can make one that's better than mine. I'd love to have a shashuka, like, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I don't care. Like a full cook-off in my kitchen. I don't know who would have done
challenge. That is a challenge.
It's 100% a challenge. I'm really good at it. I can make that for other people all day. It's rave reviews.
Honestly, the sandwich is definitely a lot more of a style of like a torta than it is a Potbelly sandwich. I think it needs a little bit more oregano. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. While I got it open. Mayo, 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 mayo.
Do you feel like the sandwich game in Detroit has really changed in the past, like, 5 years?
Yes, but only because I think that the sandwich game across the United States has changed a lot in the last 5 years. More so because of, for lack of a better term, gentrification. I think a lot of people have come in and wanted to start doing kind of like a boutique style sandwich, nicer elevated style sandwiches, which is nice. But the one thing that I'm sad about is that we've seen a lot of closure over the last 10 years of old school sandwich spots. Now, granted, a lot of them were very much the same, but I love just an old school greasy spoon spot.
Totally.
Just a gross place where you know that probably shouldn't be opened by the health department, but they serve a really good sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Like old world sandwiches. R.I.P. They were so good.
I'm so sad about that still.
So good.
Literally, the week before COVID was their last week.
I feel like some of the places I agree with you that why they are dying off is it was before COVID that they were kind of getting pushed out or finally getting those health inspections that, the lack of health inspections is what made them great. But like the first time I ever had a torta was actually in Seattle. I do not know the ethnicity of the people that were making it, but it has been the best torta I've ever had. I don't know what these people looked like. It was in a pop-up window. They're not even there anymore. It was so stinky. If you were getting on a plane the next day, like you're gonna smell the whole plane. Like it's just coming out of your pores. I don't know what was on it. There was a fried egg on it. It was so good. A chef friend of mine showed it to me. It was so good. I'll never forget it. It was right next to a bar. They would come and bring it into you. Just perfection. But I think the topic of gentrification in food is such an interesting one. There's a really great book that Michelle and I reference a lot of the time because the conversation comes up pretty regularly, and we have a really great group of friends that they won't challenge us in a mean way about food topics, but you know, we have lively, interesting conversations. Say, okay, where do you stand on this? Do you think this is right? Like, do you think people deserve to be able to do this? There's a really great book that we reference, and I will send it to you, but it's right over here. You and I Eat the Same. That's what it's called. And talks about how food kind of shouldn't have walls and barriers. And if someone really wants to do something, as long as they're doing it with respect and they want to do it, it's kind of a controversial stance, but it's such an interesting book. And they talk about how someone on the other side of the world is eating the same thing as you. You're eating it with your own style, your own flair, what you're doing, and like where food, and the history of food and where it came from and how it came to different places. It's really beautiful.
That's exactly the reason why I think I love sandwiches the most. Is because sandwiches are the most international food. Literally, every culture has a sandwich in some way, shape, or form. But the one thing that I do notice is that with the different kinds of fusions that come out, I'm fine with the word fusion. I'm fine with the style of fusion, as long as it's being respected. If somebody takes it as their own and says, oh yeah, you know, blah, 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 this is me and I did this. No, it's like, you're inspired by something. Be inspired. But make sure you do it right. You know, don't just hack up a bunch of crap and call it something.
Don't just act like it was your thing.
Yeah.
But I do like that when someone's bringing something somewhere, even if it's not totally theirs to bring somewhere, they are opening the gates to other people. And there's people that I'm sure I would have tried tortas at some point, but my chef friend was like, this place is great. You will love it. It's so good. He took me there and I was like, I'll follow you wherever you want to go. Like, this sandwich is so good. I mistakenly like wrapped it up and put it in the refrigerator, and whole house smelled. But it was the best. It was the best sandwich. But I'm sure I would have found tortas eventually. I'm not closed-minded. I love a sandwich, but it just so happened this is when I found them, and they were just kind of brought to me, and it was such a great experience. I'll never forget it, especially since I can't go get it anymore. I don't even know where they went. I don't know why they went. The last time I was there, I tried to find them. Gone. Into the wind. Can't even find their Instagram, can't find anything.
I grew up eating tortas. I grew up at home eating them. When we would go on trips, my mom would make a bunch and wrap them up in paper towel and put them in sandwich bags. Just what we did. Torta is very standard. And then on top of that, any of the street vendors that made them, markets, whatever. One of the best tortas I've ever had in my life was in Chicago at a restaurant of a white man named Rick Bayless, called Xoco, Xoco.
Yes.
To this day, one of the best tortas I've ever had in my life. And why? Because it was done with proper ingredients, respect to the ingredients themselves, to the culture overall, and with the unique, I would say just the quantity of those ingredients, all playing with each other perfectly, and the flavor playing with itself. And on top of that, the experience was really nice.
Yeah. That's how I feel. My favorite kanji was at Parisi in Nashville, of all places. Of Nashville, really? I called my mom after I went to Nashville when I was like 21, and I was like, this is the best experience I've ever had. I love Nashville. And she was like, I've taken you to Paris twice. How dare you tell me that Nashville is better than Paris? And I'm like, she was very mad. My mom grew up just giving us like cold plate, and like, she's not a chef at all. She's such a nice lady, but she's not a chef. You're so great that your mom like gave you tortas, because like my mom would make us like pierogies, like I ate refried beans, like they're just going out of style, like just basic food, but it was all really healthy. And like I still to this day, like my comfort food if I don't want to eat anything else is refried beans. So I mean, my mom's an angel, but she's not a culinary wizard. My dad's more of a chef.
I'm thankful to say my mom, you know, she was always in the kitchen, and it was just crazy. Like, I was asked recently what my favorite snack is, and that's really hard for me to think about, because you think to yourself, snack food, great, chips and salsa, awesome. That's a really simple answer. However, if I really think down to the way that I grew up, my favorite snack of all time are quesadillas.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up in a household where my mom would be like, "Are you hungry? Yes. Let me make you quesadillas." Literally, just you take flour tortilla with cheese inside of it, and you flip it on the grill or on the flat top, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It's done.
It's so good.
And it wasn't until like in my teens where like I would roll up to like a food truck or like a restaurant or something and saw quesadillas on the menu, and I'd be like, oh, I just want quesadillas. And they'd be like, oh, what do you want inside of your quesadilla? Cheese.
Just cheese.
Right? And they're like, oh, that's it? Yeah, I didn't know there were any other options.
There's more that can go in there? Yeah,
so now
I didn't know. That was actually one of the first things I learned how to make, quesadillas.
There you go.
I had a lot of autonomy as a kid. I just really wanted to, like, I loved cooking. I really wanted to cook. I was a terrible cook. Made a lot of stuff out of boxes. Like, I just really liked it. I just liked independence. But
Okay.
also, I don't know if you know this about me, I grew up in the Upper Peninsula, so I grew up 6 hours from here. Yeah. Very far. So it's kind of a food desert, too. So the fact that I was making cheese quesadillas was pretty wild.
What's your favorite boxed food?
That's a really hard question for me because I don't eat boxed food. Like, I didn't grow up, like, I don't think I had mac and cheese until I was like 20. Like, I didn't have Kraft mac and cheese. It would like freak me out like fake cheese did. Like, so if it was like prepackaged food, like I do love like trash ramen, like the square. Is that no, that's not a box. It's like cereal.
I consider it prepackaged. Yeah, prepackaged.
Prepackaged. There's some stuff that's prepackaged that I'm okay with. There's one brand of lentils that makes like prepackaged lentils that I use as like breakfast lentils that I season and just like toss in a pan. And I'm like, these are fantastic. But if I'm eating something right out of the box, like ramen or like goldfish maybe, but these things I honestly didn't eat them until I was like in my 20s.
Yeah.
My mom was in a co-op and like was just like, here's the sweet bread. There's no other kind of bread.
Well, that's
can't have anything else.
You grew up very fortunate with that, which is really cool.
Very fortunate. If you ever see a woman walking around the city that looks just like me, it's my mom. You'll hear her before you see her.
I'm going to stop this woman. I'm going to say, excuse me, I love your daughter. And she'll be like, get away from me.
That has no she'll see me too. Shit's happened to her before. She was some guy came up to me and asked me if it was your mom. And I'm like, she was in Chartreuse and one of the bartenders was like, are you Jenna's mom? And she was like, I am. She looks so much like me. Or
my mom looks like me. My mom looks like me.
So. I want to meet your mom. I bet she's so sweet.
She's the sweetest woman in the world. I love her to bits. And I'm very fortunate the way that I grew up too. I grew up with the cultures of Mexico. I grew up here in the United States and understanding the United States cultures as well. But just having that blend and mix. And then basically my mom, the biggest lesson that she taught me was that I don't know a damn thing. So
that was my dad. Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's like, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. Just be quiet, be humble, try and absorb what you can, learn from people, ask questions for sure, but like, don't assume that you know things because you're a kid. You're not supposed to. One day you will, but not right now.
I still don't know a damn thing.
When it comes to my dad, I'm just like, pipe down. I'm in charge. Get in the car. We're going to lunch. I have to force him to go to get food with me. I'm like, we're going to go to Ema. And he's like, I don't know if I want to go there. I'm like, just get in the car. I took him to 168. He loved it. He kept trying to stop employees and ask them questions. I'm like, no. They don't want to answer your questions. It's like, where do I find this? I'm like, you just got to keep walking around until you find it. But he loved it. It's his favorite place to go.
I got my mom miso because she wouldn't stop talking about how she wanted to make miso. And she's like, where did you get these? And I was like, I went to 168. It's in Madison Heights. We can go to 168, H Mart. We can do any of those stores. And she goes, hasta Madison Heights? No, I don't want to go that far. Damn it, Mom, you can leave. It's okay. You can drive a little far for groceries.
Where does your mom live?
She lives in Dearborn.
Well, my parents live in Royal Oak, and so I'm like, let's just pop over here. It's really not far. Trying to get my mom loves to be downtown, but my dad, no. It's really hard to get him to come down here. I took him to Merrill once. He loved it. I can't ever let him see the bill. I'm like, give me the bill. I pay the bill. Because he's like, it's outrageous. I'm like, it's not about the money. It's about the experience. It's also not too much. Not at all. But he's like, we just go to Coney Island. I'm like, I want to go.
You get what you pay for at Merrill. You get what you pay for at Mink. You get what you pay for at the restaurants that matter. And I'm very happy to say that I support my friends, those restaurants. I support those businesses, and I'm happy to buy their food.
Yeah, they're great. They're a great place that all my friends, where I go there enough that I'm like, you guys are all my friends because you're lovely, wonderful people who are kind to me, give me drinks on my birthday. Like, I love you. And they're my clients. It's a nice relationship I get to have. Our job is one of the coolest jobs because when we see something that we're like, this is awesome, We want to work with you. What's your budget? We want to do fun things with you. The project that Michelle is, I think, almost done with, I can't tell you what it is, but she's doing a fundraiser for a community nonprofit, Arts and Scraps, in like 2 weeks.
Oh,
she's going to be doing a fundraiser, and we'll be posting about it on our Jenna Belevender account soon. It should be really, really cool. They're not a restaurant, but they are really a really good community organization that is struggling like everybody else. But they're so great, and they support the community in so many ways and do art classes and fundraisers, and they're so cool. So among all of my great restaurant friends, I also have a big group of creative friends that give back and want to do things for the city.
It's actually a really good segue. I want to make sure that everybody knows, how do we find out about you guys? How do we find out about, your work? How do we get in contact with you if we want to work with you guys?
Best way to find us is honestly on Instagram, and we have a link on our Instagram. It's just Jenna Belevender, spelled pretty much the way you would assume, but Gerard, Gerard. Belevender, mine's a lot longer, but it's all E's. If you start typing Gerard, you'll find me. But you'll find our work there, and our website link is in there. And we're actually redoing our website right now. But if you look in I think it's in the next week. I'd ask Michelle, but she's plugged in, she's working. When she's gonna launch her project. I don't know if I can tell you what it is, but it's gonna be a fundraiser for directly benefiting Arts and Scraps. We'll make no money off of it. It's going all to them, and it's gonna be really cool. All of our work is on there, all of our personal projects, hopefully all of our stuff with our friends that want to do pop-ups here, Cosmara Club, Aunt News, anyone, do pop-ups here, please, because I want to give my friends space to do more stuff. It's hard right now. So if you can find us there and contact us through there, send us an Instagram message. Call us, comment on something. Be like, I think you're great. Great, we think you're great.
For sure. I think you're great. I think you're so great.
I'm so happy. Great. This is so nice.
So happy to be friends with you. So happy you came on the show today. We could talk forever. Literally, you and I could just go back.
No, I feel like we just scratched the surface because I haven't seen you in forever.
I know, right? But we'll hang out.
We're gonna do like a part. We gotta do an outside donut date. Like you came here for we gotta do an outside. We'll do an outside donut.
Let's do something in the fall. You want to do something in the fall? Like outdoor wine, just hang out?
Yeah.
Cool.
I got a lot of wine.
Sunday. If you want to do a Sunday, let me know. We'll put something on. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. As always, you're incredible. You and Michelle, your work is good. The work, it speaks for itself, but the fact that you are such a passionate, wonderful, kind, humble human being also makes it really a pleasure for anybody to want to work with you. So thank you so much for being a part of the community, for being a part of the show, for doing everything that you guys have been doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to be on here. This is so fun.
To everybody else at home too, thank you so much. I got to go down the list. If you like the music, the theme music is Bushwick Tarantella. The ad read music is Lobby Time, both by Kevin MacLeod. I want to thank Planet Ant for putting us on. Planet Ant is 501c3 out of Hamtramck, Michigan. There's a lot of great shows coming into the Planet Ant network as well. So you can check it out through their YouTube channel, Facebook channel. Just keeping your ear to the ground. Check out their Instagram for constant updates as well. I want to thank Parker Hammond, who's helped out with the show here. I want to thank Zach Bridges, who's helped out with our podcast. I want to thank, who else? Michael Zuber, our mustard valet, Colin Mailman, my chief, Miles O'Brien, of course, and me and G's. Once again, I just want to thank everybody at home for checking us out. Check me out if you want to follow me on Instagram at Carlos_Parisi. Always doing food updates, always posting new things about the city, posting about our friends here too. And then
always posting good stuff.
Thank you. I love food and I love good people. And if I can combine the both, then I'm doing okay. But thank you, Jenna, again for being on the show. I love you so much. For everybody at home,
you too.
For everybody at home, I hope you got a hungry, happy sandwich.